So the Boston Celtics have definitely made quite a few moves this offseason. They moved on from Kemba Walker. He's now on the New York Knicks. They brought back Al Horford from the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have officially signed Dennis Schroeder. They traded for Josh Richardson. They have done quite a bit, and I do think a lot of these moves are definitely going to help this team. If you guys did not know, the Celtics are my favorite team. I'm a big fan of them. And yeah, to say they've underachieved in previous years would be an understatement. So I do understand that they dealt with a lot of injury problems. Kemba Walker was injured for basically his entire tenure in Boston. It feels like every other night he was out with some sort of knee injury, something like that. In the playoffs this year, unfortunately, they were without Jaylen Brown. Not that even with him, they had a chance of beating the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, today's going to be an offseason rebuild. The last Celtics rebuild I did was when Al Horford was traded here from the Oklahoma City Thunder. We have not done an updated one so far with Josh Richardson, Dennis Schroeder. A bunch of you guys were asking to see it, so I thought, why not? We're doing that today. So before we do get into this one, as always, if you guys are new around here, man, been enjoying the videos lately, I'd love to have you. If you want to do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds. It would definitely make my day. And as always, you guys want to see any more offseason rebuilds, let me know which ones you want to see down below in the comments section. And without further ado, let's get into it. So something that is a little bit different is I finally did find a shared file that's actually good enough for me to go ahead and use. It's actually just the top downloaded one on PS5. You know, a couple of you guys were commenting saying you actually have one for me to use. I couldn't find the one you guys were commenting, so I do apologize about that. But yeah, this one's not bad. It's obviously not perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect until we actually get to 2K22. We're also obviously technically a year behind today because we are starting in, you know, I guess the regular season right now with just a different roster and teams looking different. But the rookies are in here. You know, some of the things that I don't love about this roster is the fact that, like, some of the overalls are a little bit screwed up. That being said, this roster on the Celtics is pretty good. I will say that there's no way Grant Williams is going to be a 74. Robert Williams being a 74 is also a little bit ridiculous. He should probably be around an 80 in my opinion, but again, it's updated. You know, everybody seems to be on the right team, so it is something that we're kind of going to have to go ahead and work with today. So I will do a little bit of roster overview for the Celtics roster. I typically don't make any trades in before year number one does start. When I do these offseason rebuilds, just kind of see what this team's going to actually look like, and I do this with every single team. So obviously, I'm a big fan of Marcus Smart. I love Marcus Smart. I do not think that the Celtics should give him a contract extension. I think ultimately he's not going to be your winning, or he's not going to be your starting point guard, shooting guard, whatever position you want to put him at on a championship team. I love the guy, but he cannot be your third best player. It can't happen on a championship team. So Dennis Schroeder, I was actually a pretty big fan of this deal. I think it's a very low risk, pretty high reward deal. I mean, if he goes back to playing the way he did, I would say occasionally for the Lakers last year, and maybe at some points back when he was, you know, in Oklahoma City. He was in, what was it, Atlanta? And yeah, okay. I always forget that he, you know, started his career there. Chris Dunn's here as well. They picked him up. I think he's going to be a good defensive guard for them off the bench. Jaylen Brown's obviously not going anywhere. I love this dude so much. They traded for Josh Richardson, and they basically did have to give up Moses Brown, who came over in that Oklahoma City deal. But honestly, Josh Richardson's kind of a pretty solid guy, in my opinion. It can kind of be a good rotation piece. I don't know if he's going to start. I'm going to be really interested to see the lineups that Ime Udoka does put out for the Celtics team. Peyton Pritchard's also not a shooting guard. He's a point guard. The dude dropped 92 points the other night in some sort of summer league. You move him to point guard, he goes down to 73, but I'm not playing him at shooting guard. So I like Romeo Langford. He has a very big wingspan. I think he has very good potential to be a very good defensive guy in this league. He's probably never going to turn into a star or anything like that. They drafted John Ben Garn this year. What pick was it? Second round pick, correct? Oh, he's undrafted because they're all rookies. But yeah. He's technically overseas right now. I don't know if he's going to be on the Celtics this year. They also have Yam Madar, who was, I believe, a first-round pick last year, or second-round pick, something like that. And he's coming overseas this year. He's not on the roster, but we'll work with it. Obviously, we have the greatest player in NBA history here in Jason Tatum. And no, I'm kidding. But I love JT, 100% not going anywhere. Aaron Nesmith has actually been showing some pretty good flashes in the Summer League this year. Grant Williams, I'm going to send somewhere, not on my Celtics team. And he's not going to play for me in the first year. I'll probably trade him after this. Obviously, Horford's back. I do like Al Horford being back on this team in real life more than I do in this game right now, just because he's 35. He ends up progressing quite a bit. I'm sure a lot of you do know that. He's not going to be starting for me. I am going to go ahead and still start Robert Williams, even though his overall is a little bit lower and where, you know, where it probably should be. But that's the roster. That's nothing I can really do about that. And I do want him to be my starting center for the entire video. So I don't know why his overall is so low. It's really weird to me. Like, I can't change overall. Actually, I can change overall. Oh, wait, no, I can't. Never mind. I don't know why he's such a low overall. I really don't. But, again, he's going to be my starting center here. So I'm not really making any trades with this squad before we do start 7-year number one. Unfortunately, this is not real life, so I'm probably going to do a 9 or 10-man rotation. So some of these guys that I do want to get playing time to are, unfortunately, probably not going to get it here in the first season. So what I'm actually going to do is Tatum's going to start at the stretch 4. Jaylen Brown will be my 3, and Marcus Smart's going to move up to my starting shooting guard spot. So That being said, we're going to go ahead and set this rotation. I'm going to change a few more positions around. I'll see you guys at the rotation before we do start 7 year number 1. So this is how the lineup is going to look for us at the start of year number 1 right now. That being said, I don't necessarily know if this is what the Celtics lineup's going to look like going into next year. I think obviously there's a very big multitude of starting fives you can now do with this team. You have guys on this team like Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Al Horford, who just weren't here last year. It's definitely going to create a lot of different ideas, a lot of different options for Ime Udoka. So this is the one we're going with in 2K. I don't know if this is necessarily the one I would actually run in real life, but we're going to go ahead and do it here in 2K just because I do like getting the highest overalls, excluding Robert Williams, because whoever made the roster screwed that up, into the starting lineup. So year number 1, Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Robert Williams going to be our starting 5 here. Our bench unit, Josh Richardson, Al Horford, Aaron Nesmith, Peyton Pritchard, and Enes Kanter is not getting any minutes, unfortunately. So I would probably at some point like to get him minutes. I just don't need 2 backup centers right now. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, hey, you can move Horford to the backup power forward or whatever, but Al Horford's not a power forward. He's just not. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people. I've actually had this debate with a couple people on Twitter before. Al Horford's not a power forward. He's just not. So I would also eventually at some point in time like to get Romeo Langford some minutes. I don't know how possible that's going to be. And it really does suck because, here in 2K, obviously, doing an 11-man rotation, not really ideal. But, guys like in real life that, Carson Edwards honestly might not even be on this roster. I think Chris Dunn's definitely going to get playing time here. Grant Williams, unfortunately, will probably get playing time. Langford's 100% going to play. Obviously, Kanter's going to play. So it is unfortunate that in 2K things do have to be a little bit different, but that's how you do end up, winning more. So we're going to roll it out with like this for year number 1. I do think we're probably going to be a top seed in the East. I don't think we're going to necessarily be a top 3 seed, but I think we could be around the 4-5 area. So that being said, I'm excited to see what this team is going to do, man. I know we're not championship contenders right now, but obviously this offseason we're going to make a lot of moves. So I will see you guys at the end of year number 1. This is now the second time that I forgot to hit record in the past couple of videos when I'm going over the offseason awards, and I feel really stupid. Let me go over the awards with you. Giannis won MVP, Cade won Rookie of the Year, Andre Drummond won Sixth Man of the Year, Darius Garland won Most Improved, Giannis also won Defensive Player of the Year, and Ty Lue won Coach of the Year. I think we're caught up right now. I'm sorry, I somehow always forget to click record because I don't actually record when I'm simulating the offseasons. Which really doesn't make much sense. So we'll look at some player stats. We ended up as a 5 seed. I think in real life, this Celtics team's more around a 6 or 7 seed, something like that. But yeah, here's how it's looking. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, obviously one of the best young duos in the league. Robert Williams even doing his thing, even though he's a bit lower of an overall. Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Al Horford. So again, I don't necessarily think that this current core is probably going to remain. I think guys like, probably even Marcus Smart, Schroeder's probably gone. Richardson, I'd like to keep. I just don't know how much he's going to have to, I'm going to have to pay him. Horford's probably gone past this year. So, again, we're definitely going to be changing some things. But as of now, going in the playoffs, I do like this squad we got. Starting 5 here for the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry, Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, Jeff Green, and Bam Adebayo. Pretty good team there in Miami. Obviously, we're in the finals in the bubble. We somehow swept them. We now have Philadelphia, Brickleberry Simmons, Shake Milton, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. They're probably better than us. And we take them to 7 years. How the hell is Toronto? Wow, honestly, good for you. They're playing Scotty and Pascal Siakam next to each other. I don't know if I would necessarily do that, but all power to you. 76ers Suns finals. The Suns come back after losing the finals to the Bucks just a year prior, and Devin Booker gets his redemption and does win finals MVP. So 1 year in the books. We obviously are going to be making quite a bit of moves this offseason. I think it's definitely going to help us out to the most. Top 3 lottery, and there's no way the Nets actually have that Houston pick. Yeah. Warriors end up with the first overall pick. Are you serious right now? That's unfortunate. I will say I do like that this roster has it updated. They have Brad Stevens as technically my assistant GM right now. He's the president of basketball operations for the Celtics. I don't think the Celtics technically have a GM right now. Ime Udoka is obviously not going anywhere. Will Hardy and Damon Stoudemire. Damon Stoudemire is actually a Celtics assistant coach. So I will give credit. I'm not saying that, I like some of the overalls and, some of this stuff. But for, for an off-season update for a file, whoever made this roster is very, very on top of it. And again, it's just the top download one on PS5 for those of you guys that do want to use it if you do have a PS5. And that's not a shot at anybody. I know how hard it is to get one. It took me forever. So we have the 22nd overall pick. I will draft somebody there. I'm not using my second-round pick. John Bengarin's finally coming over from overseas, which is going to be good. I'm iffy on Smart. Why does Marcus Smart have a contract extension? Okay. I didn't do that, so I'm assuming, I don't know how I didn't notice that at the beginning of the video, but I'm assuming whoever made the roster gave him a contract extension for God knows what reason. But I'm not saying Marcus Smart's bad. I'm just saying it's probably in the Celtics' best interest to move on from. Just my opinion. But that's interesting. I'm not trading him right now, but I am gonna go ahead and trade this 21st overall pick in the second round. I'm gonna draft somebody here at number 22 right now. Let's see who's on the board for us. And again, I don't really know this draft class very well. I'm sorry for those of you who are, study these draft classes years out, but I don't know this one that well. So we have a lot of depth. I'm not saying that we necessarily need a certain position more than we need other ones, but I'm probably just going to go ahead and take Aminu Muhammad, who's the best prospect on the board here. We have a lot of shooting guards. Again, it's not a position we necessarily do need, but best prospect available. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. He's going to be 74 overall force. Jesus, I don't record a video for 2 days and I can't speak. John Mangarin's also coming over from overseas. Beautiful. Grant Williams, I will bring back. I'm bringing back everybody. I'm honestly probably going to trade a lot of these guys. Carson Edwards is definitely going to be gone. Grant Williams definitely going to be gone. I'm iffy on Pritchard. I actually do like Peyton Pritchard a lot in real life as a backup, but I don't know about in this game. Robert Williams getting that qualifying offer. Definitely want to lock him down. Maybe he'll actually be a little bit cheaper just because we don't have to go ahead and actually pay him as much as he probably would if he was like an 82 overall, something like that. So, yeah, we're into free agency right now. We don't have money is basically kind of the name of the game right now. James Harden's a free agent. Look like he's going to be going back to Brooklyn. Kyrie looks like, wow, whatever, mind. I don't get why those offers are like real things here. It just really doesn't make sense for me. So I'm going to bring back Schroeder. I'm going to bring back Richardson. I don't know if they're going to be long-term options here for me, but before we do that, I am going to go ahead and make some moves. We're going to be trading some of these guys down here. I'm probably just going to do a bunch of first-round picks. Like Carson Edwards, honestly, might not even be on the Celtics roster. I believe they have 16 guys under guaranteed contracts right now, and I don't think that he's going to probably make the final cut. For some reason, Grant Williams probably will. It's really annoying. He's so fucking bad at basketball. He's so fat. He's absolutely useless. He's legitimately useless. He doesn't do anything well. Like, it's not like he's some great rebounder or like some really good stretch four. He just doesn't do it. He's so average. It's so annoying to watch. And he still gets minutes. Maybe Ime will change that because obviously Brad Stevens like playing him. But good Lord, they need to do something else there at that backup power forward spot. So I'm comfortable with this roster right now. I am going to go ahead and bring both these guys back. Is it going to be for the long term? I don't necessarily know. I do want to go ahead and pay Josh Richardson, though, as well. He actually wants not a lot of money at all, which is actually really, really nice. I don't have bird rights on Robert Williams. That's just how twisted this game is. I have bird rights on Dennis Schroeder and Josh Richardson, who have been on this team for a year, but I somehow don't have bird rights on Robert Williams. Totally makes sense, 2K. Totally makes sense. I'm assuming he's probably going to want too much money from me anyways. I'll see what he can do. If he wants 14 mil, I obviously don't have that. So I'll wait till he gets an offer, or he'll probably just accept his qualifying. And then maybe I'll have bird rights on him next offseason. So, is Al Horford gone too? I didn't even see that. Did he retire? Where the hell did he go? Oh, Al Horford retired. Well, that saved me some money. I wish I kind of traded him at the beginning of the video now, but again, I'm fine with it. So I'm going to go ahead and make some sort of bigger trade. I'll see you guys with whatever move that is. So our first deal here is coming with the Chicago Bulls. Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford heading over there. Lonzo Ball is going to be coming back here. I also surprisingly have to take Carson Edwards back. And it's just going to get traded again. I don't want him on this team. I'm not a big fan of Carson Edwards. He's very, very inconsistent. He doesn't play defense at all. He's actually going back to Chicago. We got a first-round pick out of it. So I know I just re-signed Schroeder. I just don't really need him. I do need to figure out who my starting shooting guard is going to be. I really do like Richardson coming off the bench, so he's probably not going to be that starting shooting guard. But, it could be a small forward as well, or it could be a power forward, and we can just bump all these guys down a spot, whatever it really has to be. So I do like the way this team is looking, though. I really do. But Schroeder is going to either get me a power forward, small forward, shooting guard, whatever it may be. And I'll see you guys with that next move. I think LG Anunoby would add a lot of good defense to this team. I would like him on this team. He's on a very, very team-friendly deal, in my opinion, for especially what NBA contracts, are looking like today. So it's not easy. We're probably not just going to get that straight up. I'll give you my first-round pick next year. I will give you my first of the year after that. I mean, I'll give you pretty much whatever you want. I'll honestly throw in John Mangarin if you want him as well. He's 68 overall. He's just probably never really going to play for me. So, they agreed to that. Did not think they were going to. So, what I'm going to do right now is just slide Jaylen Brown back down to the shooting guard spot. He goes down to a 91, but again, it's not a big deal. So, Muhammad's unfortunately probably not playing in this first season. I'm probably going to go ahead and keep the majority of this rotation the same. I do need to figure out a new backup center. We're not renouncing the rights on Robert Williams, but I do need to figure out somebody else here to be a new backup center for me. So let's see. The options here are not exactly perfect. That would be the understatement of the century. So I'm probably going to sign Favors just because he's the youngest guy here. Again, it's not perfect, but I can live with it. So now I'm going to wait on Robert Williams to either accept an offer or accept his qualifying offer, and I will then see you guys at the rotation at the start of year number 2. Start of season number 2 for us here in Boston. We have 2 new changes in our starting lineup. Lonzo Ball, OG Anunoby going to be entering this lineup. They obviously both do help defensively. I mean, losing Marcus Smart's defense is never something I wanted to do, but Lonzo and Anunoby are obviously both great defensive players, and in themselves. So I think they're, the way that this team kind of is made up right now, I think it's going to be better than last year's. I think that was kind of my main point that I'm looking for. It is unfortunate that Robert Williams is still such a low overall when he probably would be around an 83, 84 at this point with normal 2K progression, but I can live with it. I mean, he averaged a double-double last year, so it's fine by me. Lonzo, Jaylen Brown, OG Anunoby, Jason Tatum, and Robert Williams III. Bench unit, Josh Richardson, Peyton Pritchard, Aaron Nesmith, and Derek Favors. Good mix of veterans, young guys on that bench. I do think this team's hopefully going to be up around a 2-3 seed this year. Nothing's 100% obviously for sure, but I do think this team's hopefully going to go ahead, maybe make it to at least the East Finals. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. So I did not necessarily think this team had what it took to be a 1 seed, but again, 2K surprised me. We did it here, wrapping up year number 2. As a 1 seed in the East, Nikola Jokic wins his second career MVP award. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year in San Antonio. Josh Giddey, Sixth Man of the Year. I'm assuming he's just backing up Shea. I'm actually interested to see what they're going to do with him this upcoming season. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a starter, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I think, it would definitely take a lot of, or not a lot, but it would take some pressure off of Shea anyways. Getting another guy who can facilitate the ball in that starting lineup. I'll be interested. Jonathan Isaac still won Defensive Player of the Year. Scotty Barnes, most improved. Ime Udoka does win Coach of the Year. We go 60-22. I don't think there's a chance the Celtics win 60 games anytime soon, but hey, I will take it. Jason Tatum doing Jason Tatum's thing, leading us in scoring. Jaylen Brown and Anunoby. Robert Williams honestly playing pretty well. Lonzo, Josh Richardson, Pritchard. I think Josh Richardson's like the perfect guy to have on the bench for this Celtics team. I'm actually really excited for this Celtics season up and coming. Suggs, Rozier, Anderson, Isaac, and Mo Bamba. Pretty good 8 seed there in Orlando. I would like to win, though. We do win in 5. We got Detroit, Cade. They signed Zach LaVine. They have Sadiq Bey, Sekou Doumbouya, and Isaiah Stewart. That backcourt's scary. And we lose in 6. Son of a bitch. What happened? Seriously? I need the second round. I don't know why it takes so long to go from, round to round. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is this? What the fuck are you doing, Jason Tatum? Well, we know why we lost at least. JT, what are we doing here, dude? What are we doing? The Denver Nuggets going to win the finals. Jokic wins finals MVP as well as regular season MVP. They've beat Philadelphia in 7. Okay. We are going to go ahead and decline all these league meetings. I don't really think I'm going to change my starting lineup at all. Oh, that Sacramento pick probably has a protection on it, right? Yeah, it does. It's at 3. So we do have their unprotected pick next year, which is actually going to be pretty nice for me. I'm probably going to go ahead and trade it just because I don't necessarily think, saving the pick for nothing is really not useful for me, so I'm probably going to try to find a bigger trade for it. We do have the last pick in the draft, the Mr. Irrelevant pick, if you will. So yeah, I don't necessarily know what deal I'm going to make yet, but I do think I'm probably going to try to improve this bench a little bit. I don't think Derek Favors is probably going to remain on this team. I like Richardson a lot. I don't think there's any reason to change the starting 5. There's really nothing wrong with it. I would say Robert Williams is probably technically our weakest link in the starting 5 just because he is the lowest overall, but he's 15-12 was it last year. Really no reason to change much in that center department. So they drafted me Johnny Rhodes, a 68 overall from UCLA. No, thank you. Pritchard and Nesmith both coming back. I'm probably not going to change either of them. I think probably the one change I'm going to make is probably going to be Favors. Oh my God, this free agency class is sick. Oh God damn. I'd love to get Bradley Beal to Boston. He's up to a 97. Jesus. Yeah. So the player progression on this draft on this roster is definitely a little bit overhyped, I would say. But yeah, we're going to go ahead. We now do have bird rights on Robert Williams. He's unrestricted, but we're going to go ahead and just pay the man. I do want him back. I think we're pretty much in a good spot right now. So Favors is probably, unfortunately, going to be really the one main thing that does change on this team. I could even maybe bring in a Dario Saric and just replace him immediately. I also like Matisse Thybulle a lot. Would I rather have Matisse Thybulle or would I rather go ahead and remain there in Nesmith? I don't really know. I mean, Nesmith's not necessarily horrible. What's his three-point shooting percentage? It's at 34% from 3. I like Thybulle. I think Matisse Thybulle, if you guys don't know, this is legitimately one of my favorite NBA players. I like him a lot. I really do. I think he's going to be very, very good in this league at some point in time. I know he's already good right now, but I think he's going to definitely take the next step. So we might go ahead and actually make a bit of a blockbuster trade because Nesmith's now expendable. I'm honestly probably not going to use Aminu Muhammad. It would have been fun, but I just don't think I need him. And obviously, Favors is going to go. So I'm going to figure out some sort of bigger trade, and I will see you guys once I have that trade done. We're going to try to go ahead and pick up Onyeka Okongwu here from the Atlanta Hawks. He would be a very, very good backup center. I mean, his per 36 numbers are very similar to what Robert Williams was actually putting up last year. So really good backup center. I don't know if they're going to take that straight up. They're not going to. I don't want to necessarily throw in Muhammad if it's just, they actually can't even afford that. So I guess I'm only going to use second-round picks. I actually still do have this Kings pick, which I feel like I'm kind of wasting. I know I gave a whole speech on how I'm not just going to let it sit here and waste, but I'll probably throw it in this deal. There's just not really, there's nothing else in the starting lineup I want to change. I like using OG Anunoby. I don't really ever get him. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a Celtics homer by saying Robert Williams is the perfect center for this team, but I don't really want to change it, man. There's really no reason he's playing bad for me. I also know I gave the speech about Peyton Pritchard. I've actually said a lot that I actually haven't done in this video, but his numbers for me off the bench are pretty solid, if we're being honest here. So, he's not necessarily the best ball facilitator or anything like that, but I think he's kind of the perfect bench point guard for me. And obviously, I like Richardson a lot, and he's on a very, very good deal. So, I'm probably going to leave it the way it is. Robert Williams is definitely starting over Okongwu. I feel bad that we did draft Aminu Muhammad. He's kind of just sitting here, doing nothing. But we're gambling, man. We were 1 seed last year with this team. Obviously, really only made one change, and that was the addition of Onyeka Okongwu. But I think it's going to help. He's only 6'8". I did not know that. Don't worry, I actually don't think that's true. I'm actually going to look that up. I'll assume guess the start of year number 3. So he only is 6'8". I really didn't know that. I think he looks a lot taller than 6'8" on the court. But hey, all power to you. Lonzo Ball, Jaylen Brown, OG Anunoby, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams going to remain the starting 5 here for the final year. 1 seed last year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we probably would have been championship contenders last year. Obviously, I know we are as a 1 seed, but you know what I'm saying. I think we would have probably made it to at least the conference finals, maybe even the finals if Jason Tatum just didn't play like dog shit in the series against, who was it? Was it Detroit? I think it was Detroit. Our bench unit, Josh Richardson, Onyeka Okongwu, Peyton Pritchard, and Matisse Thybulle. So, a couple new changes here with Okongwu and Thybulle. I think they're definitely going to help us for the best. Let's see if we can get it done, man. I will see you guys at the end of the 3rd and final year here in Boston. Final year here was a good one in the regular season department anyways. 1 seed once again. Luka MVP. The dude averaged 16 assists. What is the record for most assists on a season? That's got to be up there. J.D. Davidson, Rookie of the Year in Houston. Josh Giddey, 6th Man of the Year once again. Johnny, yeah, oh my God. Moses Moody, Most Improved. Ime wins Coach of the Year. We go 66 and 16. So, I'm really hoping that this team wins the finals this year, man. I'd love to see my Celtics obviously get another one. They haven't won one since 2008. Let me tell you, it has been painful. And I know it's obviously, some of you fan bases out there haven't really seen one probably in your lifetime. But I understand what you're saying. But here are my Celtics. I like to get them done. How this Atlanta team is an 8... What? How are you an 8 seed? Like, really, 2K? We sweep? Oh, okay. Here we go with Detroit. Cade, Levine, Sadiq Bey. Kevin Love's a new addition there, and Isaiah Stewart. So, really only one change to their starting 5. They beat us last year. I'd like to beat them this year. We win in 6. Here comes Philadelphia, who was in the finals last year. Brickleberry, Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Furkan Korkmaz, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. I think we're better than them. We win in 5, and oh boy, the classic finals, Lakers-Celtics. Russ, they added Karis LeVert. LeBron looks like he either... Oh, wait, no, he was in free agency. Where's LeBron? Because LeBron didn't retire. I saw him in free agency last year. If I just go to all players here, you probably shouldn't be too low down this list. LeBron is in Memphis. Okay. We sweep the Lakers. Lonzo Ball, Finals MVP. So we do get it done here for the Celtics in our final season. So, quick Celtics offseason rebuild. I know a lot of you guys did want to see an updated one now that they have Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, guys like that I haven't, necessarily put in a video with the Celtics to this point. Alrighty, that pretty much wraps this one up. I know you guys are already enjoying the offseason rebuild so far lately. If you guys are, you can leave a like down below on this video, man. It would definitely help me out a ton. You guys want to see more offseason rebuilds? Let me know. Obviously, I know I say this in pretty much all of my videos at this point in time, but we're in a very dry, Sahara Desert dry part of the NBA season right now where, there's not a lot of content to make, not a lot of new content. I mean, I'm waiting and hoping that 2K22 has changed something about my NBA, my league, whatever you want to call it. It probably really hasn't, though. So that, we're kind of stuck in a never-ending cycle of being disappointed by this absolute dog shit company. But, yeah, that pretty much wraps this one up. Let me know what team you want to see next, along with any other rebuild challenges, anything like that. If you guys have been enjoying the videos, could subscribe. It would definitely help me out as well. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys all in the next one.